Su prided himself on being the fastest sprinter on campus, until the day a transfer student glided onto the track like he was personally defying gravity and common sense. One look, and Su's heart started sprinting faster than his legs, hands shaking like a malfunctioning maraca. Little did he know this wasn't just a training session. It was the start of an emotional relay he was hilariously and hopelessly doomed to lose. Support us by subscribing to our channel, also like and leave your comments to help us improve. Su always prided himself on 3 things. 1. His sprint times. 2. His perfectly maintained playlists, and 3. His ability to mind his business. Unfortunately, on the first Tuesday of the semester, 6:42 a.m. to be exact, his ability to mind his business died a violent death. Because that was the moment the new transfer athlete stepped onto the stadium track. Su had seen attractive people before. He wasn't a medieval monk, but this guy? This guy didn't walk. He floated. He glided. His hair fell into his eyes with Olympic-level precision. His skin glowed like he'd been moisturized by angels. His warm-up jacket hung off him like a magazine ad. Su blinked. Oh no, absolutely not. I refuse. Refuse what? Coach Ade stood beside him, scribbling something on his clipboard with the authority of someone who had ruined many young lives. Nothing, Su lied, stretching like a man fighting for his life. Just warming up my internal organs. Aha. Coach didn't even pretend to believe him. Good. Because I've got an announcement. Su should have run. He should have sprinted straight into the nearest forest and never returned. This is Minjay, Coach said, gesturing to angelic transfer boy. He's joining the team. And, since he's specializing in the 100m and 200m, he'll be training with you. Su froze. Why? He whispered, voice cracking like puberty had returned for revenge. Minjay bowed politely. I look forward to working together. His voice. Oh God. Su hated it immediately. Soft, sweet, crisp. Like a cinnamon roll that could break your kneecaps if needed. Okay, Su stammered because he was a champion but also emotionally fragile. Coach clapped once. Good. You two pair up for warm-ups. And Su. Yes, Coach? Don't scare him. Su scowled. I don't scare people. But the moment Coach walked away, Minjay smiled at him, bright and harmless, which made Su's stomach do gymnastics. No, absolutely not. Su had rules. Personal rules. Important rules. Rule number 4, do not fall for teammate. Not even a little bit. Not even if he looked like a live-action anime character. They started warm-up sprints. Su took off like he was being chased by debt collectors. But every time he glanced sideways, Minjay was right there beside him, matching his pace stride for stride like some kind of athletic echo. Su tried running faster. Minjay sped up. Su slowed down. Minjay slowed too. Su stopped completely. Minjay stopped and smiled. Are we doing mirroring exercises? Su asked, suspicious. No, Minjay said cheerfully. I'm just following your lead. Oh great. Wonderful. Fantastic. Fabulous. A follower. A cute follower with eyelashes too long for human decency. They moved on to hurdle drills. Su hopped over his hurdles like normal. Minjay, however, hopped like he was filming a commercial for perfect form. Su glared at him over his shoulder. No showing off, he said. I wasn't, Minjay replied earnestly. I was copying you. Su inhaled. Slowly. Deeply. Through the nose. Out the mouth. Come. Said. Then he tripped over the next hurdle. Face first. Like a sack of potatoes thrown off a truck. Minjay gasped and rushed over. Are you okay? Su's pride. I have died today. His mouth. I'm fine. Minjay extended a hand to help him up. Su took it. Bad idea. Terrible idea. Spicy level 10 mistake. Because the moment their palms touched, Su felt electricity, like his fingers were auditioning for a drama role without his permission. Worse, his hands started shaking. Not a big shake. Not an earthquake. More of a flustered, chaotic chihuahua tremble. Minjay didn't let go. His brows knit together gently. Your hands, they're shaking. Su snatched his hand back like it had caught fire. It's hydration. I need more water. Electrolytes. Potassium. Bananas. You know, sports stuff. Minjay tilted his head, genuinely concerned. Do bananas make you tremble? No. Su sputtered. I mean, yes, no, look, it's complicated. Is it because you fell? Minjay asked softly. No. Actually, yes. Okay, maybe 10% because of the fall, 90% because Minjay was looking at him like he was adorable. Sue cleared his throat. Look, this is just training. We're teammates. It's professional. Very professional. Like, taxes. Taxes. Minjay blinked. Exactly. Minjay considered that. But, you pulled your hand away really fast. Panic surged. Rule number 4 screamed like a fire alarm. We shouldn't get too close, Sue blurted out. Why not? Minjay asked, genuinely confused. Because I already want to, Sue thought. Because you're dangerous. Because you smile like you know secrets. Because if I let myself get close, I'll fall, and not over hurdles this time. But Sue said none of that. Instead he said, team rules. Discipline. Focus. No closeness. Ever. Minjay nodded slowly. Okay. But. He stepped a little closer, gaze steady. Your hands were really shaking. Are you nervous around me? Nervous? Me? Never. Sue tried to cross his arms confidently but misjudged the timing and slapped himself in the chest instead. Smooth. Minjay's lips twitched like he was trying not to laugh. Sue turned away, cheeks burning, dignity leaking from his pores. This was going to be the longest season of his life. And he was absolutely, unquestionably doomed. Because Minjay wasn't just talented. He wasn't just fast. He wasn't just distractingly beautiful. No. Minjay was unbothered. Unbothered by Sue's panic, by the team's noise, by the fact that he had apparently transferred from Korea to a new country like it was a weekend getaway trip. He just smiled, ran fast, and unintentionally ruined Sue's emotional stability. The next morning, Sue arrived early to avoid him. He failed. Minjay was already there, stretching under the stadium lights, looking like a wholesome K-drama male lead who didn't know he was a menace. Oh, good morning, Sue, he said brightly. Sue nodded stiffly. Morning. You're early? I like early, Minjay replied. The air is calm. The track is soft. And you're here. Sue swallowed. Okay. Calm down. Am I not supposed to compliment you? No, Sue blurted. Compliments are dangerous. They cause issues. Minjay blinked. What kind of issues? The emotional type, Sue muttered, stretching aggressively like a man warming up for war. But emotional issues showed up anyway. During sprints, every time Sue surged ahead, Minjay surged too. Every time Sue slowed, Minjay slowed too. It was like sprinting with a handsome shadow. You don't have to match my pace, Sue grumbled. But you're the team ace, Minjay smiled. I want to learn your rhythm. Sue nearly tripped. My what? Your rhythm. Minjay said it like it wasn't a criminally flirty sentence. It's not a rhythm, Sue snapped. It's running. Just running. No rhythm. No music. No romance. Romance. Minjay tilted his head. Sue choked on air. I said no romance, he wheezed. During relay handoffs, their fingers brushed. Just lightly. Barely. Sue's soul left his body. Minjay didn't even flinch. Your grip is strong. And no, it's not, Sue cried, ripping his hand away like he'd been electrocuted. It's fine. Perfectly normal. Very average. Actually weak. Extremely weak grip. Limp noodle grip. Minjay stared at him with deep, genuine concern. Should we do grip strength exercises? Yes, no, don't touch my hand again. During hurdle drills, Minjay jumped like his legs were made of stardust and privilege. Sue secretly admired him. Then quietly hated himself for admiring him. Finally, after an hour of pretending to be composed, Sue collapsed dramatically onto the grass. I'm dying, he declared. Minjay sat beside him, knees pulled up, cheeks flushed from exertion. You're tired? No, Sue said solemnly. I'm emotionally exhausted from your existence. Minjay laughed, a soft breathy sound that made Sue's stomach do front flips. Then maybe we take a break? Sue sighed. Yes. A long break. Like, 5 years. Minjay smiled. But then we won't get to know each other. Sue sat up so fast he got dizzy. Why would we need to know each other? We're teammates. That's why, Minjay said softer now. My last team, no one ever talked to me. They just trained with me. I don't want that again. Sue blinked. The tone had changed. Genuinely changed. Minjay stared at the track as if replaying memories he didn't like. Before I transferred, I was burned out. No matter how hard I tried, I never felt like part of the team. I don't want to feel alone again. Sue's chest tightened. Oh no. Empathy. Dangerous. Very dangerous. He sighed and nudged Minji's shoulder gently. You're not alone. Not here. Minji's smile returned, but this one was different. Softer. Warmer. Almost hopeful. Thank you, Sue. And for a moment, Sue forgot all his rules. They took a slow jog around the stadium. Not too close. Not too far. Just comfortable. But of course the universe loves chaos. During their fifth lap, Minji's foot clipped the lane marker. He stumbled. Sue grabbed him instinctively, both arms around his waist. Time. Stopped. Froze. Went on strike. Minjay stared at him, eyes wide. They were too close. Entire battlefield of feelings close. Sue's brain screamed, let go. Let go. His arms did not listen. Their breaths mingled. Minji's hand rested lightly on Sue's chest. Sue's pulse betrayed him, beating like a trapped drum. Then Minjay said very quietly, Sue, are your hands shaking again? Sue dropped him like a hot potato. Nope. No shaking. No evidence. No witnesses. Minjay sat on the track, blinking. You definitely dropped me. You were getting too close. You were the one holding me. Your gravity is too strong. Minjay tilted his head. My gravity? It's very pull-y. Very attractive, and oh I mean distracting. Very distracting gravity. Minji's lips tightened like he was fighting a smile. Sue. Sue pointed dramatically. We can't get close. No closeness. Zero. Negative. Like, opposite of close. Far. Minjay stood slowly, brushing dirt off his knee. Then why, he asked softly, do you look at me like you want to be close? Sue froze. Heart, sprinting. Brain, buffering. Soul, evaporated. What? I do not, absolutely do not. He spun around and bolted toward the water cooler. Minjay laughed, gently amused, fond. And Sue knew he was officially doomed. Catastrophically doomed. Gravity level doomed. And Minjay? Minjay didn't seem bothered by that at all. By the time the qualifying meet rolled around, Sue had prayed to every athletic deity he could think of. The god of speed. The god of no romantic distractions. The god of, please make Minjay less pretty today. And the god of, let me behave like a normal human being for once. None of them answered. Because when Sue arrived at the stadium that morning, Minjay was standing by the track like he'd stepped out of a sports drama fantasy. Hair tied up, warm-up jacket unzipped just enough to reveal a perfectly sculpted collarbone. The collarbone glowed. It shimmered. It mocked Sue from across the track. Oh come on, Sue muttered. That should be illegal. Someone call the authorities. Minjay spotted him and waved. Good morning, Sue. Sue's knees actively weakened. Not metaphorically. Physically. His kneecaps wobbled like jello. It was going to be a long day. Warm-up chaos. Sue tried to warm up seriously. He really did. He stretched. He jogged. He shook out his arms. He pumped himself up with his, you are fast, you are strong, you will not be emotionally compromised playlist. But then Minjay jogged beside him and, because Minjay was Minjay, he smiled without warning. Sue's earpods fell right out of his ears. You okay? Minjay asked. Yes, Sue lied boldly. I'm great. Perfect. Peak performance. So focused that I cannot actually see you right now. You're looking directly at me. I'm focused on the air behind you. Minjay blinked. Is that part of your training philosophy? Yes, Sue declared. Don't question it. Minjay bowed his head politely, but Sue could see the laugh he was holding back. Great. Now he was funny-looking and pathetic. The 200m race was simple. Run fast. Don't look sideways. Absolutely do not get distracted by a teammate's face, voice, existence, or gravity. Sue was determined. This was his event. His specialty. His pride. He would not let Minjay ruin this for him. He stepped onto his block. Inhaled. Exhaled. Blocked out everything. Except. Minjay crouched in the lane next to him. He nudged Sue's shoulder gently, whispering, You've got this. Sue's heart exploded. It actually exploded. He saw stars. Little cartoon birds circled his head. Don't touch me, Sue hissed, panicking. Oh, sorry, Minjay whispered, eyes widening. I thought you were nervous. No. I'm never nervous, Sue lied. My hands just naturally vibrate. That sounds dangerous. It's a feature, not a bug. The official stepped forward. Runners to your marks. Sue inhaled deeply. He could do this. He would run. He would win. He would not think about Minjay's voice. We'll do great, Minjay whispered. Sue choked. Sat. The stadium went silent. Su lowered his hips, focused on the track, blocked everything out, except Minjay brushing his fingertips lightly along Su's ankle while adjusting his stance. Electric shock, full body meltdown, brain fried, soul gone. Bang. The gun fired. Su flinched. Not a big flinch, just big enough to utterly destroy his start. He stumbled out of the blocks like a baby giraffe learning to walk. Meanwhile, Minjay launched forward with a clean, powerful burst, smooth, controlled, beautiful. Su ran after him like someone whose hopes, dreams, and dignity were slipping away at high speed. He tried to recover. He pushed harder, arms pumping, legs burning, heart screaming. But he couldn't catch up. Minjay crossed the finish line with a new personal best. Su crossed the line with emotional damage. Su stormed off immediately, ignoring teammates calling his name. He went straight to the empty locker room, locked himself inside, and sighed so loudly the ceiling shook. "I cannot believe this," he groaned, burying his face in his hands. "One touch. One. And I turn into a confused salad." He paced. He sat. He lay down. He dramatically flopped onto the bench. "I am a disgrace," he told the ceiling. "A disappointment. A tragic romance protagonist with no control over my limbs." The door creaked open. Su bolted upright. "Occupied." Minjay peeked in. "So?" Su deflated. "Why are you here?" Minjay stepped inside, closing the door gently. "I was worried." "No need," Su said quickly. "I'm totally fine. Just doing emotional stretches." "Emotional stretches?" "Yes, for the heart. It's very professional." Minjay frowned, walking closer. "Su, you didn't look okay. Did something happen during the race?" Su inhaled. "Long. Painful." "Yes," he muttered. "Something happened." Minjay sat beside him. "You can tell me?" "No, I can't." "Why not?" "Because you'll laugh." "I won't," Minjay said softly. Su hesitated. "Then, you," he blurted. "You happened." Minjay blinked. "Me?" "Yes, you. You touched my shoulder and smiled at me and whispered at me and existed at me." "Existed at you?" "Yes. Very aggressively. With your face." Minjay's lips parted, stunned. "Su. And then during the race you brushed my ankle and my entire nervous system crashed. My brain turned into soup. I'm not built for this." Su threw his arms in the air. "You're a distraction. A human-shaped distraction." Minjay stared at him. Then quietly he asked, "Do I really make you that nervous?" Su looked away. "Yes. Horribly. Painfully." Minjay's voice softened. "Then why do you look at me like you want to be close?" Su froze. Heart sprinting. Pulse hammering. Every nerve exposed. I don't." But this time Minjay didn't let him finish. He reached out and gently lifted Su's chin, eyes warm. "You can tell me," Minjay whispered. "You don't have to run away." And for the first time, Su didn't move. Su had been grabbed by the chin before, usually by coach yelling, "Eyes up, you're sprinting like you're running away from taxes." But never like this. Never gently. Never carefully. Never with fingers that felt like warm electricity sliding under his skin. Minjay held his gaze steadily, as if Su wasn't one twitch away from spontaneous combustion. "You don't have to run away from me," Minjay said softly. Su's heart exploded into confetti. Multicolored confetti. The expensive kind. I'm not running," Su lied, trembling like a wet leaf. "You are," Minjay murmured. "Every time I get close, you retreat." Su swallowed. "It's survival." "Survival?" "Yes," he said dramatically. "For my heart. My sanity. My sprint career. My blood pressure." Minjay blinked, confused but patient. Always patient. Infuriatingly patient. "Su, what are you so afraid of?" Su exhaled. Long. Shaky. Dangerous. "What if," he whispered, eyes flicking away, "I get too close and then I fall?" Minjay's brows softened. "Fall? How?" Of course. The boy wanted specifics. Terrible. Deadly. Fatal. Su threw his hands in the air. Fall emotionally. Romantically. Tripping face first into attraction type fall. The kind you don't recover from. Minjay's eyes widened. "You, like me?" "No," Su shrieked too fast. Yes, not like that. Okay fine, maybe a tiny bit, but that's not the point." Minjay covered Su's mouth gently with his hand. Su stopped instantly. Because Minjay's palm was warm. Because Minjay was close. Because Su's brain short-circuited completely. You talk so much when you're scared, Minjay whispered, amused. But I'm not scared. Sue blinked rapidly behind Minji's hand. Not scared? Not scared? Hello? Someone should be scared. Minjay removed his hand slowly. I like being around you. I like the way you run. I like how you complain. I like how your hands shake. They do not shake, Sue said defensively, immediately shaking. Minjay smiled. See? Sue slapped his hands against his thighs. That is coincidence. Weather. Environment. Low iron. Sue. Okay, fine, I'm nervous. Are you happy? Not yet, Minjay said quietly. What do you mean? Minjay leaned closer. Too close. Way too close. Sue's soul prepared its will and testament. I only get nervous, Minjay whispered, when I think you don't want me near you. Sue's mouth dropped open. Why wouldn't I? Wah? And oh wait, don't trick me. I'm not tricking you. You must be. You're too calm. Because I know what I feel. Sue blinked. Oh no. Oh no no no. Minjay was serious mode. Not goofy. Not teasing. Not the sweet newcomer trying to fit in. Serious. Intent. Focused. The way he looked at the finish line. And he was looking at Sue that way. Sue's chest tightened. Minjay. Look at me, Minjay said softly. Sue did. Bad idea. Fatal idea. Instant KO. Minjay's eyes were warm and steady, like he'd already decided something huge. Sue felt flustered, dizzy, and dangerously soft. Sue, Minjay said gently, why did you pull away the first time I held your hand? Sue groaned. Because I told you, we shouldn't. We couldn't. It's against my rules. I have rules. What rules? Rule number 4, never fall for a teammate. Minjay tilted his head. Why? Because if it goes wrong, the whole team dynamic suffers. Feelings get messy, Coach Ada yells, athletes cry. Are you planning to break up with me before we even start? Sue choked. Start what? We're not starting anything. Nothing is starting. Stop starting things. Minjay laughed softly. Then, why are your hands shaking right now? Sue looked down. Great. Wonderful. His hands were not just shaking. They were trembling like he'd consumed 48 cups of espresso. That's just sports anxiety. Sue attempted. Minjay leaned closer. But you weren't anxious before I arrived. That shut Sue up. Completely. Brutally. Devastatingly. Sue, Minjay whispered, I like you. Sue's brain error. Error 404. System offline. And if you fall, Minjay continued, I'll catch you. Every time. Sue felt his face heat up so fast he genuinely wondered if spontaneous combustion was a medical condition. Why do you say things like that? Why are you like this? He mumbled, barely coherent. Minjay cupped Sue's cheek gently. Because it's true. Sue froze. His heart sprinted harder than any race. His breath hitched. His hands shook again. Minjay leaned in, slowly, carefully, giving Sue time to run away. But Sue didn't move. For once. He didn't run. He whispered, barely audible, we really shouldn't. Then why? Minjay murmured, smiling softly. Are you leaning closer? Sue didn't realize he was. But he was. Oh no. Oh yes. Oh finally. Their foreheads touched. Sue inhaled sharply. Minjay exhaled softly. The air between them warmed, melted, shimmered. Sue, Minjay breathed, can I? Sue nodded. Tiny. Uncontrollable. Inevitable. Minjay kissed him. It wasn't explosive. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't the world-ending fireworks Sue expected. It was soft. Warm. Sweet. Dangerously gentle. Like Minjay had been waiting to do this from the beginning. Sue melted instantly. His hands shook. Of course they did, and Minjay held them, steadying them between their chests. When they finally pulled apart, Sue's face was bright red. Minjay brushed a thumb over his cheek. Still shaking? Sue whispered, mortified, I told you we couldn't. Minjay smiled. And I asked why your hands were shaking. Sue covered his face. I hate you. Minjay kissed his forehead. No, you don't. Sue groaned into his hands. Fine, maybe I don't. Minjay laughed and pulled him close. And for the first time, Sue didn't fight it. He didn't run. He didn't make excuses. He didn't hide behind rules. He just stayed. And that was how Sue, team ace, rule follower, emotional disaster, finally admitted the truth. He had fallen. And Minjay was right there catching him. Every time.